Hello, everybody. I decided to do a live. You guys, I have not done a live in a long time, and I decided, you know what? Let me go ahead and just do a live today. Um, it's kind of an emotional day, and if you're like a real fan of somebody who you admired and loved to listen to, when you were younger, I'm going to give you guys a little bit more time to get on into the live. I know it's kind of like a spontaneous thing, but I've been a little busy. As you guys see, I've been super busy with doing other things. Hey, thanks for joining me. Thank you so much. I appreciate you joining. Yes. Okay, I got you. Okay. I decided to do this live, and I'm going to post it later for those who have missed, because usually I'll do a live maybe like on the weekends or something like that, but I decided to just go ahead and do it because, it's April 21st, and it's after, years after Prince have died, so I decided to go ahead and do it. Thank you again. Hi, thank you for joining me, you guys. Hello, Barbie.Travels. Thank you for joining me. I'm so glad you joined. I was just trying to wait for a little bit longer for some more people to join in, but it's all good. Whatever, I'm going to post it later. It's so good for you to join me. Hello. And so anyway, I decided to go ahead and share my little project that I've been working on today. I've been fully dedicating it to Prince, and I'm just so happy to have been able to see him live in concert twice in my lifetime. I know some people probably have never ever, seen him in concert, but it's a gift, basically. So if you were able to actually catch him in concert and see the things in his, creativity and how he's so perfectionist at different things of how he performs, it's just an amazing thing. Thank you for joining me now, United Paradolls. Thank you so much for joining. Hi, so good to see you. So I was just doing a live spontaneously today because, today is the death of anniversary of Prince, and so since I'm one of his fans, and my husband and I definitely are fans, I decided to just go ahead and just do a live today. I usually don't do these as much, but I'm gonna start doing more of it, and I just want to show you guys some things that I've been working on. So anyway, I was just going through, I'm gonna post this later too, so I was just going through some things, like, even though I was able to see him twice in my lifetime. Once was in 1984. And my husband and I were in high school, 11th grade. Yeah. And I was going to go get some tickets. And so he was like, okay, cool. And so I went with my family members, my sisters and my cousins, and we actually slept all night in downtown Oakland in front of Sears at a place called Tower Records. And Tower Records was the place where we used to buy the tickets from. So we were like number 6 in line at that time. I remember it was really cold. I'm talking about really cold. It was around maybe January, because he was coming in March or April. So it was really cold and rainy, right? But we did it. We stayed out all night long. We danced. We partied. We were having a good time. My uncle was there, supervising, but he was sleeping in the van and come back and check on us and stuff like that. So it was a good experience. So back then, those tickets were going for about, hi, thank you for joining. The tickets back then were like $30. And we had floor tickets. And there were like 1, 2, 3. There were 3 different sections in the front, and then there's 3 sections in the back on the floor, and then all the rest were going up in the high rise, because the concert was held at the San Francisco Cow Palace at the time. That's where most of the concerts were held at when we were younger, at the Oakland Coliseum and the Cow Palace and the San Jose Auditorium and stuff like that. So anyway, I got the tickets, and my husband and I, we were secretly dating in high school. Nobody knew we were together. We never said anything about it. We were in choir class together in ninth grade, 10th grade, 11th grade, 12th grade. He was band major of the band, and I was in jazz choir. He was in jazz choir, and we just took a class together, and we just kind of clicked because I got really sick in 1981. Or 82, excuse me, 82, I got really sick. And I was in hospital. And I had Guillain-Barré. And with me having Guillain-Barré, I was paralyzed. I couldn't speak. My speech went away. They didn't know what was wrong with me, why I was having this. They said, oh, maybe she has the flu. Or they sent me home. I went to school because I had an exam to do. And I remember not feeling too well. And I even went to track practice after school. And what happened was I had a really bad fall on the hurdles. I was a hurdler. And so when I ran, I fell flat on my back like this, and I couldn't move. I couldn't feel nothing. My legs, nothing. So they called my mom and everything, and they rushed me to the hospital. And then they said that they don't know what was wrong with me. They was going to keep me for like 3 days for observation to find out really what was going on with me. And so with me being there, one of my nurses had went down there and to lunch, and they looked at television and they said, hey, she has the same symptoms as Andy Griffin. I don't know if you guys know Andy Griffin, but Andy Griffin used to have the Andy Griffin show, and he was sick in the hospital with the same symptoms as me, okay? But he was older than I was. So the nurse ran back upstairs, or a doctor, I think it was a nurse, but they came back upstairs and shared it with the whole team. And the whole team was like, oh my gosh, we need to call Mount Sinai Hospital in LA and find out more information of how to help, because I was getting worse. And so they called, and at that time, HIPAA laws were shared. There was no HIPAA laws, there was no lawsuits and stuff like that. So they called and found out that, oh, she has the same symptoms. It's called Guillain-Barré. So Guillain-Barré syndrome, they say, okay, well, what's going to happen is her breathing technique is going to go really down, and she's not going to be able to breathe on her own. And they told me all of this. I was like, are you serious? So anyway, they said, yeah, she's not going to breathe. She's not going to, she's probably going to be paralyzed and all this other stuff that's going to happen to me. So I was really prepared for it. But of course I was scared. I was only 14 at the time, and having some news like that, but they had to tell me, because they wanted me to hit the buzzer or the button when I couldn't breathe anymore or something crazy. So I waited 2 more days or whatever. My grandmother was feeding me some soup in the hospital, and you know what? She fed me some soup, and all of a sudden I started choking, and I was really choking bad, and I couldn't breathe. So I pressed the button. My grandmother was pressing the button with me, and she was so scared. And they came in and they laid my bed back, and they intubated me but they wanted to do it in my throat, cut my throat open and stuff, and give me a tube there. And I was like, no. I was saying no, but I can't breathe, right? Because I was like, I'm a singer and I don't want it to mess up my vocal cords. And so anyway, they went on and put the tube through my nose. And I'm telling you, that was the worst pain I've ever felt in my life. Okay. But I'm going to tell you right now, it kind of reminds me of how COVID is, because when somebody can't breathe, they're desperate and they need help. They want to breathe, right? So when the tube went through my nose and down through my throat, I felt everything. It hurt so bad. And then it went down in my lungs. And then all of a sudden they turned on the machine, and I felt, like, oh my God, it was like the best air I've ever had in my life, best oxygen. So what I'm just trying to say to you guys is I was really sick. And so when I was really sick, I was in the hospital for 9 weeks. I was on a respirator in ICU for 6 weeks, and I couldn't breathe on my own. They thought I was going to make it through a few nights. There were some nights that I drifted into comas and stuff like that. But I made it out of that, and it was a long journey, and I had to learn how to walk all over again. I didn't know how to walk all over again. I lost major pounds. I was down to like 99 pounds. And anyway, physical therapy of 3 weeks of that. I had to learn how to walk again. Let me tell you one thing, you guys. When you guys get out of bed in the morning, you get out of bed. You don't think about, oh, okay, let me go to the bathroom, or let me go over here. You get up and walk. But when you get up and you can't walk, and it's the worst feeling in the world, because you're scared and you can't feel your legs, you can't feel your feet, you can't feel nothing. And learning how to walk all over again was the hardest thing I ever had to do in my entire life, besides breathing, of course. But I'm going to tell you, learning to walk was really hard at 14, okay? And I learned how to walk. My therapist was really good. And she told me, she said, you know what? She said, you're going to have to learn how to walk with a switch, because you're walking like Frankenstein. And I was like, what? No, she didn't. I was ready to fight, right? But she said, yeah, you're walking really stiff, so you got to kind of loosen it up a little bit. And hi, Nikki, thank you for joining me. Hey, JD, Boo Doll Life, thank you for joining. I'm going to post this later, but I'm going through my story when I was really sick and I was in hospital with Guillain-Barré when I was younger at 14. And I'm also going to show you my production that I'm working on today with Prince. You guys, look at Prince back there. So anyway, what happened was when I got out the hospital, my school had raised money, a fundraiser, by selling candy for my health and everything to help me get back together, medical bills and stuff like that. Guess who came in first place? My husband. My husband came in first place selling the most candy. He sold about like $5,000, I think, worth of candy out of all the kids in school. And of course, he said he ate some of it. But I was just saying that he made the most sales. And what they did was they had him present me the check at a spring choir recital that I was invited to when I got out of the hospital. So I went, I didn't know anything about it. And so finally what happened was they said, okay, they had me come up to the front, and I was actually in a wheelchair, but I told my mom, leave the wheelchair in the car. I'm walking in on the walker because I was not using a wheelchair. I didn't want my friends to see me in a wheelchair. And so I did the walker. It took me a long time, because I was walking slow. But after a while, I started getting a little better. But when they told me to come up to the stage, I didn't use the walker. I refused. I walked up, it took my time. They were clapping, they were cheering. My husband at the time, my boyfriend, well, not my boyfriend, but my friend was, all cheering for me. And I came up to him because they said, okay, this is the guy who sold the most candy. We're presenting you this $8,000 check for, our love to you because, actually we were happy that you survived your ordeal. And so my husband was the one who presented me the check. At the time, we weren't married or anything, we weren't dating or anything like that. So anyway, so that's the love story short. So after that, we kind of talked about it, and I've known him since 7th grade, and I was like, wow, I said, you really sold all that candy? He was like, yeah, I really felt bad. I wanted to make sure that you were okay. And, and I said, oh, wow. And that kind of like, that's really nice, but he's a little bit shorter than I was in high school. So it didn't bother me, but I was thinking about tall guys, and, y'all know what I'm talking about, so, but anyway, we ended up secretly dating. We didn't want people to know all our business because back then, people, if they knew if you were dating, they'd be all in your Kool-Aid and don't even know the flavor. Okay. So we didn't say nothing. And we dated all the way through high school after that. That was 10th grade, after 10th grade or whatever. So anyway, so we dated and then we broke up after high school, got back together, 11 years later. And then we got married a year after that. And we had 2 more daughters. And so we've been together for now 22 years married. And our anniversary's coming up next week. So I'm not going to be here next week, you guys. That's why I'm cramming out all this stuff, getting my orders done. And, I'm doing the best I can right now because I am chilling next week. I am chilling. I'm serious. Me and my husband are chilling. Anyway, fast forward. So anyway, let me show you what I've been working on. I'm really excited about this. Look at Prince there, you guys. Look at him. I am so happy about this creation. I made him. This is the Fresh Dolls Daniel doll. And I ordered the glasses because I think that he looks a lot kind of similar to how Prince used to look when he was younger. And I decided to go ahead and make him as my Prince doll. I've been pricing. My husband's like, well, you want me to order your Prince doll? And I was like, okay. Of course we go online. There's no Prince dolls. And if it is a Prince doll, it's like $400. And I was like, oh no, that is not happening, right? Not. Okay. So I went on and made his lace pants myself. And I made the guitar. I just basically printed out the guitar and I did some white clear packaging tape on top of it, cut it out as best as I could on a cardboard. And I put some beads on the top part of the guitar. See that? And those are the beads. And I'm just so happy with this. And I made his velvet coat myself. Yes, you guys. Yes, I sure did. And his boots are just the purple velvet material as well that I decided to use. And, I'm just really happy with this creation. And I made his lace, his ruffle shirt myself as well. Prince used to wear all kinds of outfits. And back in the days when I remember like Purple Rain and stuff like that, he would wear a lot of this kind of ruffled shirts and stuff like that. And it was so exciting to see him. And I'm telling you guys, if you guys ever had the chance to see him perform, it was like no other. I am so serious. In 85, it was the Purple Rain tour. And we had floor seats. We sat in the sections 2 in the back of the first section on the floor. And I said I would never ever do it again because everybody stood up for the whole concert, of course. I remember Sheila E. was there. She opened up the show. It was awesome. And oh my goodness, it was amazing. Oh my goodness. He had the bathtub on stage and he was up there, singing Dirty Mind back in days when he would wear the bikini with the trench coat and the high heel boots. I'm going to tell you one thing. Prince was one guy that could wear the high heels, bikini, trench coat, no shirt. He can get away with that kind of stuff. Lace pants. That's why I did these lace pants, y'all. I said, I'm doing some lace pants on this little dedication right here. So that's the lace pants. But you know what, you guys? You got to get really creative, especially when you want something and you can't really afford it. You get more creative. You start, kind of experimenting with materials and you try to say, okay, this is how I want to do it. It was no pattern that I used. I just freestyled it. I went on and made it the way how I love it. And because how I remember Prince, that's how I love it. You know what I mean? And I'm telling you, his concerts would go for hours. They were awesome. He was such a perfectionist that it was just amazing at how he performed and how he took things seriously. He made sure his band members were on point. I think the last person I seen who was kind of like a perfectionist like that was Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson was a perfectionist. He wanted to make sure everything sounded perfectly. The rehearsals ran perfectly. Prince is the same way. He was like, he didn't take no mess. He would go out there himself before the concerts, like hours before the concert, and make sure that the wires were completely plugged in correctly, making sure the batteries were running, making sure the wires were not shorted, making sure mic check 1, mic check 2, make sure every mic was perfect for his concerts. And that's why his concerts were flawless, because they were perfect concerts. You know what I mean? And if you heard something bad in it, you would never notice it because it was on. It was so amazing. But back in 85, yes, everything. You guys know Purple Rain movie. The Purple Rain was so big in 1984. It was the biggest thing ever. And to see him perform it, it's just amazing. It's just amazing. At that time when he sung When Doves Cry, the flowers came out of the ceiling. They were like fake flowers, those dollar store flowers you see now, but they were kind of like carnations like that. And oh my gosh, we were going crazy. We gathered some of those. My cousin, she actually had some closer seats to the front, and she actually caught Prince's glasses. The ones that kind of flipped up at the time, they were circled, and we were yelling and screaming. And so when we were leaving the concert, we call her Big Lisa because she was big. She was like, don't mess with me. So he threw his towel out there. He threw some guitar picks out there. And he actually threw his glasses out there. And she grabbed them. And all these girls were grabbing her hair, grabbing her shirt, you should have seen her. She said, girl, I decked the mess out of them. I'm keeping these glasses. But we were so happy to even just have the glasses in presence. You know what I mean? So it was nice seeing that. Prince glasses. And yes, I smelled them. Yeah, don't look at me like that, because y'all know y'all would have smelled them too. Don't be acting like y'all ain't gonna smell them. Yes. I smelled them. They smelled so good. It smelled like I don't know, some kind of cologne, but I don't know. Back then, I was 14. I didn't know, brands of cologne at that time. At that time, we were wearing Chloe. We were wearing, Babe and stuff like that. So it's funny. We think about it now, but my cousin with the glasses, boy, I told her, please, can I take them glasses to school? Please let me. I'm serious. I begged her, can I? She said, no, nobody's taking my glasses. Big Lisa's like, nope. So what she did was she put 2 holes in her bedroom wall, right? And at this time, posters were really big back in the day. They really were. And so she had these two holes where Prince's poster was, like his face, and she put the holes in the wall, and she put the glasses in the holes of the poster into the wall. So the real glasses were actually in the poster. Yeah, she really did. She guarded those glasses for the longest. I wanted those glasses so bad. But it was fun. It's just all about the fun part of growing up with Prince and stuff like that. So the glasses ended up mysteriously, of course, stolen. Somebody knew about it or whatever, came and got them when she wasn't on guard, when she was home or not home or whatever happened. We were really devastated about it. His glasses were stolen. But anyway, 2016, we always tried to go to Prince concerts all these years. We tried to call in for tickets. Me and my husband wanted to go so bad, sold out within matters of minutes, like 5 minutes, 10 minutes. It's ridiculous. His tickets would go so fast, and then they started putting volumes of buying them. You can't get them all, and you have to, it was crazy. They started putting rules on it, right? So we could never go. 2016 came. And when Prince came, it wasn't like he would let you know in advance. It'd be like major announcement, check in at midnight or 12:01 or 12, whatever. It was really weird on Ticketmasters or whatever, right? And being part of the ticket fans and Prince fans and stuff like that, that's how I kind of knew, he's coming, right? I knew it, but we didn't know where. We knew he's coming to California. But hey, we were willing to go to LA. We were willing to go to LA to see him, so. Hey, Renee. Hi, thank you for joining in. Thank you. I'm going to post this later. I've been talking about my experiences with Prince and the concerts and growing up with him and stuff like that. It's his death day today, so I decided to go ahead and do a live. I usually don't do that, but I said I just have to because it's just me. And here, see my shirt? Wearing Prince shirt. Yes, I am. That's my boo. That's my second boo. But anyway. So 2016 rolled around. I called in. My husband called in at the same time. We had two phones going at the same time. Busy lines. Beep, beep, beep. Can't get through. Try your call again. I was like, oh my God, we're never going to see this man. We're never going to see him. And my husband got through. And finally we got through. And they were like, how many tickets you want to buy? And I'm like, I wanted to get 4, right? But then they said, no, there's only a limit. You can only get a limit of 3 tickets or something like that. And I was like, 3? Why not 4? So anyway, I said, okay, I'll take 2 because it was just me and my husband anyway. My husband was like, man, we could have sold one. I was like, I know. But anyway, we ended up getting 2 tickets. And the tickets that we bought, we decided that we wanted to get as close as possible, but not break the bank, because the floor tickets at the Oakland Arena was going for $1,000. So we were like, are we going to pay the mortgage or go to the Prince concert? I said, we're going to the Prince concert. Anyway, so we decided not to do the floor tickets, but we ended up doing the section 107, which is still the first floor area, and we had row L and seats 10 and 11. And the reason why I remember this is because all this stuff is kind of special. When you're dealing with Prince, you kind of remember every single detail that you come across. Hey, Tammy, thank you for joining. Yay! And I'm talking about my experience with Prince and everything. So anyway, when we went to the concert, we were so happy because when the tickets went on sale, it says Prince, piano, and mic. Okay, that's what it said on the tickets. We were like, how is Prince going to perform with a piano and a mic and no band? Me and my husband were kind of disappointed at first. We were like, how is he going to do all this Purple Rain, Little Red Corvette, and everything without a band? First we was kind of being like, My husband was like, well, whatever. We're in the house. I'm like, yeah, we are. Let's go. But let me tell you, oh my God, that concert was the best concert I have ever been to in my life. And my husband said the same thing, because my husband, he goes on tours. He's an engineer for a band, a popular band in the Bay Area. I'm not going to even express it, but he goes on tour with them as well. And he rocks the stadium. He does all that. He does all the basic ground checks, and he's the engineer of the road or whatever. But he told me that concert that Prince did was excellent. my husband said that, I was like, I know he knows what he's talking about because he has that sound ear. He does a sound engineer. He knows what sound's supposed to be about when you're in a stadium. You're supposed to hear everything clearly. Everything was flawless. I'm going to tell you, when Prince was up there on that stage, he came out on his little green lime bicycle. On the bottom floor, he came out of behind the stage seats, and he came around riding his bike to the stage, y'all. It was a two-wheel bike. It was lime green. He had on a lime green bodysuit, I want to say, but it had like maybe a little cape to it, but it was lime green, and it had some purple in it. And he had these shoes. They were ivory that lit up at the bottom when he walked. That was the first time I seen some light up shoes, y'all. Except for when y'all little kids, you see the little lights that light up on little tennis shoes and stuff like that. But no, his lights were different, okay? His lights, like when his heel hit the floor, it lit up the back, and when his top of his toe hit the floor, it lit up his toe. You see what I'm saying? His shoes were amazing. I was like, what kind of shoes are those? My husband's like, I don't know, but I'm getting me some of those. But anyway, like I said, it was just amazing to see him 2 times in my lifetime. And the concert he sung was amazing. I'm telling you, he had a piano on stage, he had a mic, and himself. And he got on that piano and he played that piano through the whole thing. Every song he played was from everything he tried to sing everything. And Prince has a million songs. I'm telling you, this man has so many albums and he has so many songs. We were like, gosh, what can he not sing? You know what I mean? It's like he was flawless. He was going through vocals by himself. He did have, like, let's go crazy, let's get nuts. He did have the drum sounds and stuff programmed in his computer or his piano. So the piano was playing like the production because there was no band. But it was just amazing to see him perform by himself, So the whole concert wasn't about the bands, the horns, the drums, the synthesizers, nothing like that. It was about him. And so everything he played was by the piano, and when he played it and then he sung, it was just simply amazing. And I was like, blown away. I was like, man, this is amazing. And they gave us a free CD. They gave us a T-shirt at the concert. It was like an amazing departure gift in a way, because he ended up passing away like in 4 weeks later. And we were like, oh my gosh. But anyway, after his concert ended, he left out on his bike. And we thought maybe he's going to return back and maybe do a little more, because we were like, more, Prince. And we all were cheering for 45 minutes, and he never came back out. And everybody was like kind of discouraged. People started leaving, and it was like, oh man, we thought he was going to come back out. But he gave us a good concert. He gave us like 3 hours, And so as we were leaving, some people was like, hey, there's an after party in San Francisco if you guys want to come. And at this time we lived in Sacramento, and we were in Oakland, and it's like 120 miles away from here. And we were like, man, do we want to go to the after party? Me and my husband looked at each other. It was like, yeah, let's go to the after party. But we were like, nah, because we have to do that ride back. We didn't get a hotel room. And, it's because it was a spontaneous thing. His tickets were on sale. It was just crazy, So we ended up coming back. And I kind of wish that we did the after party, because there were a few after parties that were held over in San Francisco that Prince was going to maybe appear, because sometimes he'll do that kind of stuff. He'll show up at these venues and he'll just party hardy. Oh my gosh, I've heard about him, right? But we should have went. We should have just went. Now that he's gone, we said, dang it, we should have went, right? But now we hear about it. We hear about he showed up for a couple hours at one club, and then he showed up another couple hours at another venue. And this man partied all the way to like in the a.m. That's just the kind of person he was. Prince was he loved his fans. He loved to show his talents. He loved the reaction, like if you clap, if you say, whoa, yay, whoa, whoa. Well, he listened to that stuff. He's a perfectionist, So anyway, we ended up coming home that time. And then next thing I know, 4 weeks later, I was working at a hospital at the time, and for some reason, I stayed home. I can't remember why. I probably wasn't feeling good. I don't know. But I stayed home, and then in the mid-morning, around 10:30ish. I was watching TV and the announcement came up, breaking news, Prince has died. And I was like, Prince who? Like Prince Edward, Prince, you know. And then I started listening a little more and they said the artist formerly known as Prince had passed away. And I'm like, what? I said, no, stop. Because Prince used to do these pranks. He used to do this kind of stuff like when he coming out with a new album. He did this back in 2006, I think. I can't remember the year, but he did a prank saying that he died and he really didn't die, and everybody was crying and everybody had their lights on their cars and they driving playing his music. And I remember I was one of them. I was crying. It was sad, but he wasn't really dead at that time because he was considered a slave, and he was a slave to his musician contract that he had with I think it was Sony Records and Entertainment or whatever he was doing. But he wrote slave on the side of his face and his mustache he had because he felt like he was a slave because he was stuck in a contract and he wasn't seeing his money. He wasn't getting paid. They were keeping all his money that he was making, and it was their rights. They had rights to his music, and that's why Prince was like, no, I want you guys to buy my CDs. Don't download my music. Don't bootleg my stuff. Buy my stuff so I can get paid, And that's how it was. He had his own website where you can purchase his own CDs, T-shirts, and stuff like that. See my T-shirt, you guys. Just want to show you guys for the newbies. But it was just amazing to see that, how a perfectionist he was. And he deserved his money. He worked very hard, since 78. 78, he'd been making music, and he didn't have his money until like in the late 2000s, which is sad, but like I said, it was amazing to see him, but hearing his death hit hard because I was like, okay, he's probably doing another prank. He ain't dead. I turned to another station. Prince dead at the age of 58. I was like, what? 57? What's going on? What? I just couldn't believe it. I could not believe it. And I said, nope. He ain't dead. He ain't dead. Then my son came home, and my son was in Job Corps at that time, and my son left Job Corps to come home to tell me about it. He didn't want to call and tell me. He wanted to be here to tell me, and my son came in the door, my husband came in the door, and they were like, did you hear the news? I was like, is it real, And they were like, yeah, it's all on the radio and everything. And I'm like, no. My husband's like, honey, I think it's really... Now look back on the TV, looked at CNN. CNN is more accurate than anybody, right? And I turned on that and I started seeing the helicopters flying around his compound, his house, and it just hit. And I was crying like a baby. Oh my God, I was crying like a baby, right? And I was like, this can't be true. And I said, please let it be a prank. But it kept going hours into it. More hours and more hours. And then it was like he was gone, Sorry, y'all. I'm doing a live, but he was a really good artist. And when you really appreciate real good music, appreciate it, don't download music, buy their art, buy their music, buy their CDs or MP3s or whatever, how you guys are doing it. Just make sure that the artist is getting paid, because he was really hurt about that, and even though this is years later, to this day, even when I hear Purple Rain, right, I still cry. It just, something about that song, it's just, it's a beautiful song. Maybe because it was in Purple Rain, it was at the end, and, I've always loved that song. That's my most favorite song. And even to this day, when I hear it, I still kind of tear up, and I'll be like, damn, it's really sad that he's gone. But, those drugs and stuff, you guys got to be really careful of those opioids and, stuff like that. Don't be taking that stuff and getting hooked on it and, all that stuff. We found all that stuff out later, but, Prince had been in a lot of pain for many years.
We always heard about it, like he always had chronic back pain, because he would wear his, high heel shoes and he'll jump off the speakers. Now I'm telling you, those speakers were tall, okay? I've seen him do it. He'll be up like about 7 feet tall and he's already about this tall, right? But he'll be up on the speaker and he'll jump down off of it. And he'll be in his high heel boots, and all that time of him doing that for all those years caused damage, to his back and his spine. And he was in a lot of pain for those years, and especially when it got towards the end, because me and my husband, we kind of like reflected back to the concert we went to, the last concert in 2016, 4 weeks before he died. And we were thinking about, wow, he must have been in pain then, because remember, he rode his bicycle out.
I mean, who rides a bike out to a stage? You know what I mean? And it started coming together like, wow, Prince was in pain. And we can kind of tell he was because he walked with a cane. His cane was on stage. And so when he rode his bike out to the piano, up to the stage, he would go up the stairs, but the cane was there and it helped him get up the stairs. He had the cane, but I thought he was trying to be pimping. Some guys be walking with those canes and they be trying to be pimp daddy, and I was like, look at him trying to pimp that cane, right? But no, really, that right there, it all started coming together with me and my husband as we collaborated about what we experienced and what we saw from the first concert all the way to the end. And seeing something like that, hey, Atlanta Falcons, right? So what I'm just trying to say is, yeah, he was in chronic pain, and yes, he was taking those pills. Those opioids probably, helped him feel better. He just had too many of them. There's so many artists that get those and they end up, dying or killing themselves on accident and don't even know they're overdosing. It was fentanyl and, fentanyl patches. I mean, come on, that's really dangerous stuff. My husband even was, given fentanyl patches before for his back pain, but he would never use them because he was scared of it, because they even told him, if you wear a fentanyl patch right here on your arm, and if that band-aid peels up, in a way that it escapes too much extra fentanyl in your system, you can OD. So that stuff is super dangerous, you guys. You guys really be really careful about taking fentanyl medication or any type of opioids or even Norcos. All that hydrocodone, stuff like that. That stuff is addicting. And that's why doctors don't want to try to keep on giving it to you. Some doctors will, because apparently they give them the Prince. You know what I'm saying? So, and Michael Jackson, same thing. They get these pills and they just pop them. They just popping them. But you guys be really careful, because that stuff is so addicting and it's so dangerous, and it can really kill you. So try not to be addictive to these medications. Try to, if you have to take it, you take it, but do it by a doctor's supervision only. If they give you 2 weeks, that's it. That's it. If they give you a week, 3 days, whatever, that's it. Do something else. Take something else. Try to help your own self so you won't be addicted to that kind of stuff. So anyway, that's my story about my concerts and my experience about Prince. And, he's such a good artist and stuff like that. But anyway, we're going to go through my little diorama one more time, y'all. Just one more time. Okay, let me see if I can turn this around, y'all. I'll turn it around. Okay. All right, my diorama. Do you guys remember his bodyguard back in the day? He used to have a bodyguard named Tiny. Do you guys remember him? Well, this is Tiny, y'all. Yes, that's my doll, Albus, y'all. Albus is Prince's bodyguard. So he's making sure he's over here practicing like how he's supposed to. Here's my Prince doll for the ones who didn't see him. Thank you, Tammy, for liking my story. You met him, Barbies? God save me. That's awesome. Oh my goodness. Oh, if I could have met him. I don't know if I could have held it all together. I probably would have been hyperventilating and everything else. But, okay, so we're going to go through the diorama. I made this diorama a few years ago, and I actually just updated it. I just pulled it on out. I said, you know what? I'm going to pull them on out. All my dioramas fold. They all go into my drawer in my daughter's room, because my daughters are home from college, and so I've been in my room, so I'm cramming some of my dioramas in here. But look at this one. So what I did was I put Prince photo up there at the top. I just outlined it here with some tulle and some diamonds and some glitter. And what I did was I printed out all of his songs. See his songs there? We got Controversy and Purple Rain, Do Me Baby, Cream, Let's Work, Adore You, I Will Die For You, Batman, I Want to Be Your Lover, 1999. I mean, his whole list goes all around my room. Look at this, you guys. Lady Cab Driver. Look at that little red Corvette. See You in Summer. Party Man, Soft and Wet. Do you guys know about Soft and Wet? Oh my goodness. Woo! That music back in the 70s, early 80s. Woo! It make you sweat, y'all. Oh my goodness. But yeah, Live for Love, God, Diamonds and Pearls, You Got the Look, Uptown. I'm telling you, all around here. Look at Prince over there in the corner. I love this picture of Prince that I use here because these were his most innocent days when he was really young. I think he was about 17. And he had rocked the afro. And you know what's really weird? Like when he was in concert, on the last concert in 2016, he was rocking the afro again. So he was rocking the afro for a good 6 months, maybe 8 months before he passed on. But it was like he kind of went back into his premature, like, teenage years again. And that's when my husband saw it too. He's like, wow, he looks like he's back in the high school days, when he was younger, but Prince had amazing hairstyles. As you see this one, this was one of my favorites. I love this cut on Prince. I thought he was so sexy. This was the only man that I ever know that can wear any hairstyle, that can wear eyeliner, and he can wear high heels. He can wear a thong. He can wear a trench coat and a thong and boots and look sexy. Okay, nobody can do that. Everybody can't do that, right? So, just thinking about back then, this was him and his guitar. That's when he was like really starting, and he wanted to be noticed back then. And he was short. And people were like, yeah, whatever. But then he actually was able to slide a tape to one of these engineers one time or something. And they listened to him. And they was like, wow, he's really good on this guitar, And that's how he came out with his first album. And so here's my next one. I love that look. I love that look on Prince. It's like a mysterious bad boy look. Like, I don't know what to do. Can you show me? Or why don't you go jump into Lake Minnetonka? That's that look right there. So I just had to have that one. That Lake Minnetonka. Now, you guys admit it. You guys know darn well y'all wanted to jump into Lake Minnetonka. And you guys know darn well you would have jumped into Lake Minnetonka. Even though it wasn't Lake Minnetonka, right? in the Purple Rain movie, man, we were like, man, if we knew where Lake Minnetonka was, we'd go get in that water right now. We were talking about we'd go skinny dip. Yes, we would. We'd do the Apollonia, just like what she did in the movie. We were not shamed. We were not shy. We said the same thing. Now, y'all don't be acting like you wouldn't have. Y'all know y'all would have did that. All right, so here we go. So let me go on back to my diorama, y'all. These are some more songs that continue from the other walls as well. He just had so many. And believe it or not, you guys, this is not all of his music. He just had so much talent that I couldn't even print all of them. It's just ridiculous. And you guys know he's coming out with Welcome to America. Welcome to America. That's coming out pretty soon on I think April 26th, I think. I'm on the list too, but that's coming out. So he has a new album coming out after his death because, he had some music that's been in his vault at home. His family has finally released them. I'm so happy and we're all excited. And if you guys go on Instagram, they have been playing some of it like with his voice and it says, Welcome to America. And it's in his voice. But when you hear his voice, it's like he's here. You know what I mean? And I actually started getting teary-eyed again. Like, are you serious? Because it sounds like he's here, Anyway, but think about this too. Prince had the band called Prince and the Revolution, right? And he's from Minneapolis, okay? Minnesota as well. Think about this. He had the band Revolution out back in the 80s. Yesterday, for this George Floyd thing, the verdict of being guilty for the cop that murdered him. Wow, it's like a new revolution. And Prince already knew about it. And his album is coming out in another week. I mean, another week, right? Isn't that a coincidence? I'm telling you guys, man, I just got chills. I got chills. The fan club got chills. And let me tell you, our fan club is awesome too. Out here in the Bay Area, before COVID hit, we would do Bay cruises. And the Bay cruises, everybody are Prince fans that joins the Bay Cruise. We go to clubs out here in Sacramento. We meet up, we dance, y'all, to all Prince music. They play everything Prince. We do line dancing of Prince. We enjoy dancing. We laugh, we talk, we mingle. We go on trips together. Now we're starting to kind of collaborate again. Now they're starting to open up a little bit now, but I'm not trying to rush right now because of COVID and stuff like that. I don't need to. If you guys had listened to my story in the beginning, who was here, I don't even know if I can have the COVID vaccine yet. My doctor actually told me she wants me to wait because I had the Guillain-Barré syndrome back in high school, and it's a respiratory issue. And she told me that even if I get the flu vaccine, which I could never get, right, it will reverse me back into Guillain-Barré syndrome. So I will be paralyzed again, and I will be not able to breathe, and the Guillain-Barré syndrome will come back. Now, once you had Guillain-Barré syndrome, you're supposed to never, ever get it again. But my doctor told me, you know what? This vaccine is just too new right now. And since it's new, I don't want you being the guinea pig. So let's wait about 6 months and see about more testing that comes out about your syndrome. And let's see if there's other people that will get it, because I don't want you being the one that's being the guinea pig. And I told her I appreciate that. I mean, my doctor is awesome, and if I can't have the flu vaccine, most likely I can't have this COVID vaccine. So right now I'm waiting. And yes, I worked in COVID. So do I need the vaccine? I probably can't. I still have to wait, so that's up in the air. I know some people have to have it because of their age, but I'm up there too. I'm 53 years old in a minute this year. So I need the vaccine, but I can't even get the vaccine, y'all. But we're going to see how that goes. I'm not rushing. I ain't trying to board no plane right now. I am going somewhere next week with my husband, but we're going to do it safely. And just, keep on doing what we're doing. Keep wearing your mask. Keep wearing. Hey, J Mike. Hi, darling. Thanks for joining me. But I'm going to do it safely next week. So everybody should be doing that anyway. Wear your mask. Even if you do get this vaccine, you guys still wear a mask. You guys still practice social distancing. It doesn't mean that you're cured. It just means that you have the vaccine, and then you might not, you still can get the vaccine. I mean, you still can catch the COVID, but it probably won't be as bad. But you guys still be smart about it. Keep your hands clean, keep sanitized and all that stuff. Keep doing what you're doing though. Even if you are vaccinated, keep doing what you're doing. But anyway, you guys, I hope you guys enjoyed my Prince room. Stay tuned later for my celebration exit with Prince, and it's going to be a special guest on these drums. You guys guess who that is? Who's going to be on those drums? Yes, I made the drums myself. So, you guys stay tuned for more. I appreciate you guys, joining me and listening to my story. You guys learned a lot about me. And I hope you guys pay attention to what I was saying, because I'm going to have some trivia questions coming up about me eventually later. Not today, but later on. And you guys might win something free off of my Barbie.Travels.com website, a miniature. Yes! So I hope you guys understand and you guys was listening closely to my story, because I might pop up a question here and there and say, hey, you guys, answer this question. The first person that answers this question is going to get a free miniature off of my miniatures website. Yes, everybody. Thank you, Barbie.Save Me. I appreciate it. And you are so right, Barbie. Yes, you are so right. I see your answer there, and I'm not going to say it. But you guys stay tuned later for more of Barbie.Travels. Oh, hi, Miss Nita. I'm so sorry you missed it already. I'm about to repost this in a minute, and you can see the whole thing. But what I was telling everybody is pay attention to my story here. I'm going to post this on my blog, okay? And my story about what we discussed today. And I'm going to throw you guys some trivia questions eventually. Not today, though. and coming up, maybe next week or so. And if you get it right, whoever's the first person or the second person and the third person, they will get a free miniature off of my Barbie.Travels.com website. So you guys, make sure you guys go over there and look at Barbie.Travels.com website too, and kind of go through there and see maybe what is it that you would like to get for free off of that website. And I don't mean you guys picking the most expensive one either. We'll talk about that. But anyway, y'all, but I appreciate you guys coming into my little chat. I appreciate it. I love you too, Barbie.Save Me. I really appreciate you popping in. You was there from the beginning all the way to the end, so you got a lot of knowledge about me, huh? And you probably gonna try to win one, huh? But yeah, you guys. But I love you guys, and you guys stay tuned for more of my surprises coming up later on today. Talk to you guys soon. Stay tuned. Bye for now.